All right, we're back.
We're back.
Got a nice cool drink from
Yes.
the very sunny day, hot walk.
They don't have
But-
this in America.
They don't?
Yeah, they don't.
Well,
They
not
don't-
Highlands, but they
Not Highlands. But
Starbucks and all that. It's not
They
the
ba-
same, huh?
it's bad coffee. It's just bad coffee. So technically, bad for me, but maybe good for people in America.
It's
Because-
very light coffee, right?
Yes,
'Cause
really
here,
light.
I think they drink Arabica over there, which is very light.
Yes.
And we drink Robusta
Yeah, Robusta.
bean, which is like
Yeah.
boom, you know, it
And I grew,
charges you up.
I grew up like drinking at least like 2 cup coffees a day, and so I couldn't get. I was so caffeine.
Deprived.
Deprived. Yeah, in America, I was like.
But you can find Chungwing over there, right? You can buy Chungwing.
I think yeah, but really limited options of places
You just
I can
can't go down the street and get it, you know.
It's
and-
just
stop
too,
in
too
and-
much trouble, and then it's too expensive. Yeah,
oh, even buying Chungwing over
yeah,
there.
because they basically have to import
Mm.
the Zhongwing, right? And so it's not as good as here.
And I think now with the new tariff, it's probably worse.
Yeah.
You remove this. I have to say one thing that I'm really proud of is that one, we were able to make the internship happen for you, which was looking kind of slim at that moment
Yeah.
for you to be able to finish your degree. But it was also, for me, it's the alumni network. It's the fact that Anfuk was, my former student and alumni, and that he took you on board.
Yes. No
Yeah.
question asked.
Yeah, so that you could finish your internship and your studies. And
Yeah.
so it's beautiful to see the RMIT alumni network
Yes. It was.
at play, and
Yeah.
just the brotherhood,
Yeah,
of
just
saying
brotherhood.
that,
It was
hey,
truly beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, that hey, give you an opportunity so you
Yeah.
can finish your degree, but also I think it also helped him a lot with his business, what he was trying to do as well.
Yes, he was realizing a lot of stuff, and,
Yeah.
and we basically had these conversations because he was taking me in as somebody he wants to have conversation with
Yeah.
too.
Put this up higher. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
kind of flopping down.
Okay. There's no sound man today. Nobody to mic wire me up. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
think that's
better.
good. Yeah. So yeah, I think he was taking me in because he also wants somebody to have a conversation with, like some serious conversation about,
Right.
because he was also want to invest in my future in America. He wants me to be a force to be reckoned with in America, like young bloods coming up, doing networks, grow in America, be in this place and that place. And so, eventually someday when he returned to America, because he wanted to do something like continue to expand his business or just basically do passion projects of making a film or something like that, he would have me. And so that was what he had in mind when he, engaged in that relationship with me. So I think that was beautiful. Like, I think it's the beauty of being human. Even it's like reproduction, right? It's from the core, from the ancient history. It's always has been reproduction. Like mothers give birth to their child, and child becomes like mothers, and then mother give birth to another child. And so it's the same thing with other aspect of life, like career, love. There has to always be this helping each other scenario.
Yeah.
We have to help each other. The one who have done it gotta help the one who's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the nature of life, and it's really beautiful to embrace it. Yeah, it's just great. There's no calculation behind it. It's just
Yeah.
the fact that the nature that you just have to embrace.
Yeah. And like he took a little brother under his arms.
Yeah,
Opened the doors for you, and got you started.
yeah,
But that also led to another opportunity, which is I have a friend over there who does a podcast called The Vietnamese. So Kenneth Nguyen, and then I was able to connect you to him to do some small projects at the start, and that
Yes.
led to.
And that led to my first feature film in America, and that was the height of the trip. Like that was I think that was it was the happiest day of my life when I received that position. It was also that
What was the position though on the film?
DIT,
Which
and,
is
digital image detection, responsible for copying the files. It's not just copying; it's transferring, in a really specific way so that the source it's the same as when it leaves the camera.
okay.
So it has to be, you have to use like specific professional grade software, and there's like a lot of things you have to look for when you do that, seemingly simple transferring process. There's a lot of things involved in that. And so that was my position. And the great thing about being hired into that movie is like it's the same thing with Phu. And so Ken tells me about this film, and the director was basically Ken's friend, and but Ken would not put me in try to secure me a position in there, right? It's not in Ken's power. It has to be coming from the director. And so he said to me, well, I'm just trying to reach out to the director and say something to him, make him interested. And so that's what I did. I just called the director. The director's name is Lawrence. So I called Lawrence, and I said, hey, so maybe Ken has told you about me, and I live in Houston, but I'm really willing. I'm ready to just come out to like California, Los Angeles, to work on your movie, and I don't even care about the money. I just want to break even, at least, because I have to live, right? I have to live in Cali. It's a really expensive place. Yeah, and so Lawrence said, yeah, cool, man, just come to. We didn't even confirm on what I'm gonna do for the movie. There's no DIT at that point.
Just come out and
Just
we'll
come
figure
out.
it out, right?
But the beautiful thing is, he told me to just come out. He basically was telling me that I will pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was basically giving me
So in good faith.
in good
you're
faith.
Like, okay, let's do it.
He's just giving out trust, like he's giving out free samples, And so I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I would just come out to California, and then so I drove like 1,500 miles to LA.
That's dedication, folks. That's dedication.
Yeah, because there's no renting cars. You have to pay for another insurance on that car. Yeah, I already got my insurance in the car that I bought when I first came to America in Texas. I'm not dumb enough. I was not dumb enough to just purchase another insurance, which like cost me $1,000.
And everything in the U.S. is expensive.
Everything in the U.S. is you're basically producing your life. You're basically producing I feel like learning filmmaking also helped me, living a life in America, right? Because I was basically producing for everything.
Yeah.
I have to research. I have to, really learn the price of everything, learn the pros and cons of everything before I do it.
Yeah.
Just like when you do a film, you have to look for a location first.
Pinch every penny, right?
Every penny, and then negotiate and stuff like that. It's basically life producing. It's actually pretty close to filmmaking, yeah. And so I drove to LA, 1,500 miles in 2 days. The first day is 15 hours, and then the second day is 10 hours. And it was actually also beautiful for me too, because my mom was not in peace with me driving alone to Cali, and so she wanted to drive with me.
Okay.
And so she hopped on the passenger seat, and we just
Wow, it was a nice road trip
with
mom
my
and,
mom
and son.
and that's actually the first time I ever heard the whole history of my mom, of my family, how she was
Potential movie, man.
Yeah, potential movie.
Yeah.
How she was raised, how she fled the war,
Yeah.
how she lived and in growing up in a really hard time where
Yeah.
Vietnam is going through like đổi mới
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And even before that, right?
Even
Thai Bop
before
Cup?
that, Thai
Yeah.
World Cup, before '75,
Yeah.
when the war happened, my mom was
Yeah,
like
and even
running.
during the war. Yeah.
Yeah, so she told me all about that.
Wow.
From
That's gold right
yeah,
there.
that's gold, and it was 25 hours of just stories,
Yeah.
and I was just driving, like a really straight road, desert, all the stories like baked into my mind right now. Yeah, and so it was a great opportunity, and yeah, so finally I reached LA, and I pretty much booked a small Airbnb down there. It was like for $1,300 a month. For 1 month, yeah, for 31 days exactly. It was from an old Chinese couple. They were really nice. They even made coffee and cooked breakfast for me every morning because they was taking me in as their son.
Okay.
Because they were old, and I think they have like kids, but their kids is like
All grown
and
left
and spread.
nest.
Yeah, left the nest, and they were taking me in. They knew that because before I booked that Airbnb, I have to basically give them an introduction about myself, and I said I am a 22 years old filmmaker from Houston, really motivated and kind of thing, and so they really they think that's cute, I think, and then and they were taking me in as one of their kids, and so they try to giving me as much accommodation and convenience as much as possible. Coffee, obviously coffee, breakfast, free food. Yeah, saved me a bunch of money actually. Yeah. And so I came into LA, but the movie was delayed because of the fire that was just happened at that point.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I drove into LA, it was like a crazy
it
scene.
was like hell.
It was like hell. It was smoky
Hell on earth.
all around. Yeah. And then my mom was like terrified. My mom was like, why are you driving straight into this mess? Like, what could we just come home and then just find work elsewhere? I was panicked for a second. Asian moms. And then I was like, Mom, it's just okay. It's like the fire already stopped, and it's like the Palisades, so it's really far from even Hollywood. Yeah. So it didn't matter that much.
Yeah.
And so 1 week later, when I first arrived in LA, the film starts shooting. And
it's a Vietnamese film, right?
It's a Vietnamese film. Technically, I would be in better peace to call it a Vietnamese American film.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Fair enough.
Because English.
It's in English.
It's in
entirely
English. Yeah.
Okay.
Which are little variations in betweens because actors sometimes do some code switching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like when there's a mother in the film, and then when she called her kids, he's like, "Hey, Gong," instead of like, "Hey, kids."
Yeah.
And so it has that dynamics.
Okay.
Yeah, a little Vietnamese, but it basically just a independent, I think, psychological horror movie.
Okay.
Yeah, about a woman, J.K. Rowling, a level writer, who got really slowed down on her final books, and now she came back to her childhood like house, also where her brother died when they were young, and then she thought that she did it. She killed the brother, and so she.
Don't give everything away.
Don't give anything away. So she just came back to that place, and
things happen. Okay.
Things got messy, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a really interesting film. And what's more interesting is about how the director shoot kind of place the camera and because I think it's not the most unique storyline ever created, but I think a lot of people have already done that same
type of film,
genre, yes,
story.
Yes.
Okay.
But what's more interesting is how the director, kind of apply his very signature style.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So you probably learned a lot from
learn a lot. Yes.
observation. So
Yes.
not only doing the job on set, but also
Yes,
observing.
because I was basically just a DIT.
Yeah.
And my works only matters when it happened. You know, like after the all. After the camera done shooting, we had got like lunch break. I would
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to take the card and then just put it in.
But it's a very important job because when you're making a film now, it's not just a film. You actually it's a digital business,
Digital business.
and so
Absolutely.
all these files, all these
Yes.
video clips are your digital assets,
Yes.
and that costs money.
Yeah.
And so you're
That's a
trying to
property.
protect it,
Yeah.
right? You're trying to make sure that you've got a backup and it's all there.
Yes.
What we shot is
Totally.
then going to be in the hard drive.
Yeah.
And from what I heard,
Yeah.
let's just say I have a 30-day shoot. 29 days went well, but you had one bad day. Right?
Yes.
Can you share about that?
It's actually 26 days.
26
and
days,
One,
okay.
One bad day. So it's actually 23 days of principal photography and 3 days of just pickup shots, right? And so I went on this 23 principal photography day. Like we shot the main things in those 23 days. And it was the day 22, and we were shooting out of the middle of the jungle. There's no Wi-Fi, there's no internet
connection.
and the power is really inconsistent because we have to run power from the generator. And sometimes we need to shut that off for sound, right? And sometimes the gas just ran out, just stopped giving me power. And it so happened to be on that day that we didn't make the purchase of the last set of the SSDs. So the SSD runs on
Solid
power.
state.
Yeah, solid state.
Right?
So it's portable and it runs by drawing power from the computer itself. So as long as the computer has power, only one source of power needed from the computer, the SSD will run just fine.
Yeah.
But it just happened on that day that we didn't make the purchase on time with the last set of SSDs. So and all the previous sets of SSD has already full, and so we had to use
Reuse the SSDs.
no, we don't have we didn't touch the as when we done transferring to the SSDs, they're full. We just don't use them. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't delete stuff in there to make space for another files.
Yeah.
We just purchase new sets.
Yeah.
And we had like HDDs too.
Yeah.
So every time, because SSD is just for the purpose of
Recording, right?
it's not technically recording because we're recording in cards.
Okay.
Yeah, in the magazine from the camera.
Yeah.
But the SSD is for
Transfer.
Speed transferring.
Yeah.
And so because HDD would have much slower transferring speed.
Yeah.
And so we purchased SSD just for that purpose, and also for me to do the dailies for the directors. Working straight from the SSDs had like really reliable reading and writing speeds. So to work in a computer, but anyways, we ran out of SSDs, so we have to use our HDDs. HDDs we use it to backup files from the SSD, right? So we have another layer of backups for protection, for digital assets protection, and so we had to use that HDDs, and that HDDs ran on separate powers, so it's not rely on the computer. It rely on an adapter, and it has to be like consistent power feed into it. And so it just so happened that I was doing the dailies, doing my normal work as an assistant editor. I try to assemble cuts for Lawrence to see if he's missing anything, and I was wearing my headphones, right? And I was just too focused on doing the editing work, that I didn't pay attention to how the files were transferring.
Okay.
And so at one point, the power got cut off. Yeah. That happened a few days in prior, but I specifically told the electric guy to, please, when you turn it off, please, tell me, kind of thing. But this time, I think people did tell me, but it was rather a rush.
Yeah, everything was in a hurry.
Yes.
Near the end, right?
Maybe
So-
they just passed through my tents because we were setting up tents in the middle of jungle, right? I was in this really enclosed space. All the tents, they have like these walls. And so the electric guy might have told me, but from outside, from behind the wall, you know, from the other side of the wall.
Mm.
But I knew that I couldn't rely that much on the electric guy. I would just listen carefully to the generator running, the generator noise, to know if it's running or not. But I was wearing the headphones. I was too focused on a secondary work. DIT should be my primary work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I should always be paying
Yeah.
attention to that. But I didn't get my priorities straight. I was focusing on secondary editing work more.
Yes, yeah.
And so the power shut off and it fell, right?
So to make a long story short, what
Yeah.
happened?
So the fire didn't transfer all the way, right? And in the middle of the way, it's just my guess. I think it's got corrupted,
Okay.
right? But I only knew that the next day, the last
So
day.
you lost half a day
Yes.
worth of files,
Yes,
Whoa.
half a day.
which is really detrimental to a shoot
Yeah.
because then it would require you to go back and reshoot
Yes.
that half day or how many hours or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's took us. It did not took us. It did not take us more days, but it took us more work. Because
Yeah,
the whole
but to
crew-
recreate everything.
Yes. On the pickup days, they have to not only recreate stuff, but they have to like. Everybody was basically working for 2 units at the same time.
Mm.
So the AC had to set up 2 cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
The actor has to like pay attention to 2 lines, to two scenes,
Yeah.
different scenes. The gaffer had to do two lighting setup. It's like double work for everyone on that pickup days.
Yeah, yeah. So
But-
it was an expensive mistake. We just make sure we got
Yes,
recording time still okay.
yes. Just like Lauren said, it's cost. I don't know if it's the accurate number, but he just blurted out when I told him that I lost the files. He blurted out that it's gonna cost us like 10,000,
Right.
another 10 grand
Yeah.
to reshoot it. Yeah,
And you tried to recover the files, right?
yes,
You sent it to a service and you weren't able to
the
recover
data
it?
center, and was not able to recover
It's
because
gone.
the file was never there.
Yeah.
It never made its way to the hard drive
Yeah.
because the power shut off at some point.
And so you didn't check that
Yes,
you
I
had
didn't
it, and
check
then the SSD was erased. Was it erased or the
Yes.
cards were erased?
Yeah, the magazine were erased.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I only checked the next morning, right?
So you guys shot on red, right? So the
Yeah.
red mags you guys just deleted.
Yeah, there's no going back. I just
Yeah.
the morning I opened up the computer and I rechecked everything, I was just like, oh, a big F.
Yeah.
It was only like 8 a.m. and we got like the holiday shoot, and I was like, oh, I was stressed out the whole day.
How do I
Yeah.
tell them? How do I tell them?
Yeah, how do I tell him? I like,
And that's the thing. That's the thing in filmmaking is like, out of 23 days, you can have 22 amazing days, but that one bad day will just completely destroy
yeah.
you and your reputation, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about the consequence, right? So Lawrence was really angry, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's his.
Like anybody would be, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's,
Everybody
yeah.
would be. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
totally understandable, and I totally deserve the anger.
Yeah.
Right. I think my best effort, the best thing that I did was be honest about it,
Yeah.
know, and earn it.
Yeah.
Earn the mistake. I don't talk back. I don't make excuse.
Yeah. Take responsibility.
Yeah, take responsibility. And one interesting observation is that everything you say after you make that big mistake will sound like an excuse.
Yeah.
Like even no matter how hard you try
I
to
don't
be
know what
honest.
happened and
Yeah.
right?
Like
Yeah.
I was not trying to make any excuse.
Yeah.
But to people around me, especially to Lawrence, it will always sound like an excuse. So I
Yeah.
have to make an extra effort
Yeah.
in being even more honest about
Yeah.
it. But it has to come down to just giving Lawrence, just giving everybody time
Yeah.
to process it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just trying to make it up for him.
Yeah. And what was the makeup? How did you make up for it?
Okay, so zoom out a little bit. I worked for 1 month on that movie, right? It was supposed to be 1 month. The whole movie paid for me to live in Cali for 1 month. Basically, I broke even, but then I had to stay for another month, and so basically I earned no money, right?
Okay.
It's basically everything I earned for the movie
Yeah.
got washed away
Yeah.
for that next extra 1 month of staying and making up for Lawrence.
Yeah.
So the first thing I can do for Lawrence was actually pretty simple. Just keep doing what I do because Lawrence really liked. I think
Appreciated you for the 22 days.
22
that you
days.
did really well, right?
and he knew that I can still do work.
Yeah.
That because he was his intention was giving me even more pay even after the shoot to just assemble the whole the whole cut of the movie that we shot.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Every day on the film, on the shoot.
Make sure we have enough battery.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for every day on the shoot, I assemble each scenes that we shot that day. And then so by the end of the shoot, I already have something ready for him, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like good for him.
Yeah.
He appreciated that.
Yeah.
And so he when I say, is there anything I can do to make up for you, please, and I said, please let me keep working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me keep doing what we had to get, what we had on going.
Yeah.
And so, but it took 1 week for Lawrence to really take me in again.
Okay.
And it needs time to process because it was a really devastating time, and Lawrence absolutely was in a very pressure position because
he has to deliver as a director. And
and
he has to probably explain to higher ups,
EPs, and
invested in the project.
Yeah, and so so I said, just keep assemble the cuts for you, and so that's what I did. Assemble to a few hours of footage, I think 10-15 hours into like 2 hours cut, and that helps Lawrence to understand what he needs to shoot on the pickup days, like an entrance shot or an insert shots and stuff like that. And so I think that really works. That's a big favor to Lawrence.
Yeah.
He really knows. We're basically having the whole timeline set up the whole time, and if there's anything missing, we will know, and we'll shoot it right away.
Yeah.
And that's digital. That's a digital magic. Like I love that. I just love that workflow. But anyways, back to Lawrence matter. So that's not only the thing that I did. Lawrence, before doing this movie, he's always been a professional gaffer. He was in the gaffing business. He owns like 2 big trucks full of like state-of-the-art equipment, right?
Yeah.
And people would hire that truck for like 1,000, 2,000 a day and stuff like that. And he worked a lot. Like he is a machine. Why everybody is out of work, he's the only one working.
Yeah.
And if there's no work, he got no work, he will create work for himself.
Yeah.
He's like a monster. And I learned a lot from him, like even from his work ethics and ethics and even his creative styles. He learned everything really well.
Yeah.
And so he had this gaffing business, this truck, and he asked me to, hey, maybe I don't have to hire another guy to do some maintenance. Maybe you could do it and come and do it for me. And so 6:30 a.m. I show up at a parking lot somewhere in LA, and Lawrence was there to open the gate for me, and then I was in, and he opens his truck, all of these heavy equipment in front of my eyes, and he said, "Yeah, I think I need to take all of them out of the truck and clean them, and reorganize."
Okay.
It was tough work. It was heavy lifting.
Yeah.
It was just a pain to the physical body, you know, because all of the light stands, heavy from really light to heavy, all of the lights, obviously, and all of the modifiers, right, of the futures. Some of them are wet. You have to like hang them up. You have to dry them.
Yeah.
And all the stands I have to clean because they want the stands to be smooth, right? They want to take them out. They want to expand it, and then
So you did all of that.
Everything.
Yeah. And then you also ended up editing, right? So you're editing one of his
I was editing
projects as well, right? Or still editing?
Yeah, still editing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he gave me a project to edit too, a documentary basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, about archaeology, about Cổ Làng Thăng Long.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty interesting project too. But it's
Was that the one that Ken was working on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually met the archaeologist in Hanoi 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, his name was Namsi Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ken was a character in that documentary.
Yeah.
And Lawrence was the one.
I remember when Ken came back to shoot that.
Yeah, last year, like just right before I did my movie.
Yeah.
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 And Lawrence was the one who shot it.
Okay. Okay.
And he was expected to edit it too.
Yeah.
And he was going to pay another editor in Vietnam.
So boom, you stepped in.
I stepped in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are at least now, you guys are on good terms.
Yeah, in good terms. On the last day when I left LA, Lawrence invited me and Ken out to dinner after we shot, right? And then he paid for dinner, and then he took me and Ken back to Ken's house, and Ken got in the house first, and I was standing there alone with Lawrence, and Lawrence was like, "I appreciate you for staying," and he gave me a hug, and then I said to him, "You feel like an older brother of mine now, so I would be willing to do anything to help you," and then that pushed him to gave me another hug.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sign for that we are on good terms.
Good.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of allowed you to come back here for graduation.
Yes.
That summed things up. But
I have yet another really crazy story to tell you. That
Do you wanna say it to the camera? The crazy story.
The crazy story.
Okay.
So, on the last pickup days, the producer didn't really get the permit from the LA permit on time to be granted permission to film on a location, because basically before you are granted permission to film on location, you have to ask every people who living 300 feet around radius around the shooting location. So the producer haven't done that on time, and he was on to some other task. So he asked me really urgently, "Hey Nam, can you drive to the location tonight, like before the shooting day?"
Talk to all the neighbors or something?
Talk to other neighbors in the 300 feet radius. And the location is in the jungles, in the forest, in like an hour and a half away from downtown Los Angeles. And then I had to do that, right?
Yeah.
I'm their only last hope.
Yeah.
And it's also because Lawrence told me to help with that.
Yeah.
And so I basically had no experience in doing any. I didn't even know where to print out the paper, right? And so I just know, maybe I can go to a public library. And so I went there and then I did go there and print out all the papers, like 40 of them, and just drove straight to the set and opened the maps and just kind of draw
A circle.
a circle, and then But yeah, crazy work. Like I was there 6:30 p.m. until like 12 in the midnight.
But secured all the
Yes.
sign offs.
I think it was around like 30 something houses
Okay.
that I have to like give out. But some of them, there's no people at home, so I just had to like left a piece of paper, like a survey, on there, and take a picture and send to the area permit guys as a proof that okay, I visited this house. And I let them know it's good
there.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I left the location, come back home, ready to get a good night rest. And I was hungry, right? So I visited Check in the Box to get some piece of chicken tenders to fill my belly. And I look into my bag and I say, where the hell is my wallet? I was like, where is my wallet? Luckily, I had Apple Pay to pay for the food.
Yeah.
But then this big problem is still, where is my wallet? So I drove home, sat down, calm myself down, and think, yes, the only thing that could happen is that I dropped it somewhere, right? Yeah. That's the only way that the wallet is not in my bag.
Yeah.
But the shoot is 9 a.m., right? 9 a.m. I have to be somewhere. I have to be ready. And so it was already like 12:30. And I was like, this is the only chance to get the wallet back by just coming back there now, like in this instance. Drive the F back to the set and look and find the wallet, or else I will lose the wallet, right? Because in the wallet is
driver's license, everything, right? ID.
Everything, ID, green card, right? That's my travel permit, right? So I wouldn't be able to make it back to here if I don't have that wallet. I don't have the card, right? I don't have any travel means.
Yeah.
So I have to drove back all the way. It was like 1 something a.m. when I was back in the set. I had to visit every houses, trace every steps I walked to look for the wallet, right?
And
it took 3 until like 3, almost 4 a.m. Did I find it sitting randomly at a dirt road, like in the middle of the jungle. Yeah.
It's like a miracle.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even think about like taking a picture or anything. I was just so happy for my life, like genuinely feeling
somebody's watching.
Yeah, like
out for you.
Yeah. And on my way home, it's so funny. Like Zen called me, right? And because it was that time, 4 a.m. in Los Angeles was the time. It's around like 5 p.m. here when Zen was picking up the gown. Yeah, for my graduation.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will come back. Yeah, I definitely gonna come back. Yeah, please
now
pick
that
up.
I've got my green card, I'll for sure come back.
Yeah, of course you're gonna pick up my gown. I'm gonna come back. I was like so
relieved. Huh?
So relieved. It's crazy. Yeah.
Amazing story.
And I remember when I come home, when I lost the wallet, and I came home, and Ken come out, and he saw the whole mess on my face, and he was like, "What happened, man?" And I was like, I couldn't find my wallet. He was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." And yeah, it was like crazy.
Yeah.
But in those moments, it's actually more peaceful because you know that there's only one way to get out of this, right?
Yeah.
Only one way.
Yeah.
There's no overthinking. There's no thinking about any other things.
Yeah.
It's just that one way.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man. And out of this story, the thing that the lesson from all this is that I think, is the fact that you manned up.
Yeah.
You took responsibility. You said it's on me, and you made up for it.
Yeah.
And for me, as an educator, as your teacher, and for all of the teachers in the film program, that's what I'm proud of you for. Is that you said that, hey, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to make up for it. You didn't blame other people. You didn't make excuses.
Yeah.
And so we feel I feel from this that we taught you well,
Yeah.
and I think from this, I think you're going to succeed.
Thank
I
you.
really do. I really do. I think
Yeah.
amazing things are going to happen. You're obviously very talented as a filmmaker, you know, through the capstone film that you've made.
Yeah.
And also now, I had no idea, but you're also a rock star.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
And you're back here playing with your band, and you've been
Yeah.
doing that for, what,
That's
7,
about-
8 years or how long?
Yeah.
Forever, right?
7 years. Yeah.
But now, like, your music is starting to kind of grow and take off?
Yeah. It
or-
grew last year when I just left.
Okay.
Yeah. We produced an album and it got like 1 million streams
Wow.
on Spotify in just 1 month.
Yeah.
And we just sold like 1,500 tickets to our tour, to our
Yeah.
own tour, like yesterday, like last night.
Oh, okay.
3 hours of ticket opening
And
on
just sold out, huh?
1,500. Yeah,
Wow.
early birds. Yeah, there's only 500 normal
And,
tickets.
and where are you
left.
playing, in Hanoi and?
Yeah, we one show in Saigon and one show in Hanoi. Yeah, it's gonna be our own show. We organize it.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to rely on any other organizer. We're gonna do really original stuff in the show. Yeah.
Maybe you can sneak me in, man.
Yeah, there's always
love
invitation
to see it.
tickets. Yeah.
Like all this time, like when he was a film student, because I didn't start out teaching film. Well, I did. I taught you guys the first semester, and then
Yes.
I went and I became manager of the AV
Yeah. Yeah.
department. And we were able to grow the amount of
Mhm.
equipment that you guys have. And then I've since returned to the film program, and now obviously running the film program. But I had no idea that you were a rock star or a musician.
Yeah.
So it blows my mind, you know,
It
that,
blows
that
your
you
mind.
are, and
Yeah.
that you've come back, and now things are taking off for you guys.
Yeah.
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 So I would love to, go see you guys perform.
Yeah.
It's a different aspect. So I'm sitting in the presence of a rock star, not just a filmmaker,
Yeah.
an up and coming filmmaker, but a rock star. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But for me is where do you see your future now? Now that because you're here and you're gonna play with your band, but you're gonna go back to the U.S. and,
Yeah.
and from what you told me, you're gonna move to L.A. to
Mhm.
even work right
Yeah.
in the film industry.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself, you know, in the next year and then obviously 5 years from now?
Yeah. So to me, I was always think myself just simply an artist, right? And as a filmmaker and director, I would try to just get as much as experience, stories, life experience, to eventually being able to make a really good film. But when I make that really good film, it's gonna come naturally because I've lived it. I've
Yeah.
lived a lot of experience. I've ups and downs, some real things happening in my life,
Yeah.
and so I will eventually get to that point.
Yeah.
Find the story and make a good film.
Yeah.
Right, and it's all about that. To me, it's all about the end product, something that I made that archive the whole ideology, the whole experience, the whole life lessons.
Yeah.
Whether it's a song, whether it's an album, whether it's a feature film, whether it's a TV series or whatever, I am an artist, and I will get to that point. I will live for that thing that I make.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
so,
beautiful.
moving into just one chapter of it.
Yeah.
Like being in Vietnam is one chapter, Texas is one chapter, LA is one chapter. I might be even on the moon, right? Someday. It's just really
Just don't go with Katy Perry up in space.
Yeah.
But
And so I don't see myself just becoming something. I
Yeah.
see myself as something that I will eventually produce.
yeah. I think it's I think it's been a wonderful journey.
Yeah.
I think that life is about ups and downs and
Yeah.
setbacks and then bouncing back and coming back, and that's what enriches your life, that allows you to make amazing art, whether it be film, whether it be
Yes.
music.
Yeah.
So take in that and journal it and write it down and produce work.
Yeah.
And I think I think you got the right attitude. I think you've got the right mindset to succeed, to know that, you know, we strive to do well, but we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But we learn from them.
Yeah.
And we take responsibility for those mistakes that we make.
Yeah.
So, I wish you the best of luck,
Yeah.
whether it be here or in America. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have this conversation again in the
Yeah.
future
Yeah.
to see where you are at
Yep.
at that point.
Yes.
But I'm glad that you're able to make it on the first episode of Where Are They Now? Which is my new series on seeing my students who have now become graduates and RMIT alumni move on, and to kind of follow their stories.
Yeah.
Okay? So I appreciate you coming
Yes,
on.
I appreciate you. It's been an honor learning with you and being taught by you. It's great. Yeah.
And that's not going to stop.
That's not going to stop.
So
it's always going to be a learning
now we
experience.
become colleagues.
Yeah.
And we're going to be anh em,
Yeah.
and just like the brothers in America, the Vietnamese brothers in America, we're going to be anh em, and we're going to help each other.
Yes.
Because if you're successful, then we're successful. That's how we see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So appreciate you
That's
coming
great.
on the show.
And
and we thought that we were maybe worried there wasn't going to be much to talk about, and now we're like way past an hour.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So good for show, and I really appreciate you coming on, and keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye. Rockstar.
Rockstar.
Who knew? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Old Dad Discovers.